Oh hey, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Michelle, and alongside my husband Tori, we own a bakery in Midland Park, New Jersey called Wish Upon a Pastry. We are back with another behind the scenes video, and we're just going to show you some clips of the things that we're making. So the first thing I'm doing to start today is I am making cookie dough. So I am making all the cookie dough that I need, and then you're going to see me gather all of my cookie cutters that I need for all the designs that I have preset, and then you're going to watch me bake all of my sugar cookies. So the designs that I have this week are a Mama Mia, she found her honey bachelorette weekend. I also have a Mickey Mouse for a baby boy's first birthday. I also have a baby shower set for a baby boy that is an aloha baby. It's a luau themed baby shower. I'm also stocking some sugar cookies for the front, and the design this week is a Mickey cupcake. Now that I finished rolling out my sugar cookies, it's time for me to clean up, start baking them. I'm also going to finish cleaning up the mixer, and then I'm going to go into my royal icing. Now that I'm finishing up my royal icing, I am going into measuring and coloring all of my royal icings that I need to decorate my sugar cookies. So I weighed out everything. I kind of have a weight of how much royal icing I use per cookie, like for its size and things like that. So I'm going to make the colors and then make the two consistencies I use to decorate sugar cookies, which is an outline and a flood. So I'm just going to go ahead, get all that ready to go so that I can start decorating. Okay, finally, it's time to start decorating cookies. Yay! So I'm going to take all of my outline royal icing and I'm going to outline all of my sugar cookies in their respected colors, and I'm going to fill them in with the flood royal icing. And now that I'm done with that, I'm going in with my flood. So I'm taking my thinner consistency of royal icing, which is what you call a flood, and I'm going to fill in all of my royal icings with their base color. And now after I've flooded all of my cookies, I'm going to go ahead and let them dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to put in all of my decor work on top. And now I'm going to show you some clips of what the finished products look like. So this was for a bachelorette party. It's a she found her honey Mama Mia. Martina's getting married with disco balls. So fun. I've been wanting this scene for so long. We also have our aloha baby boy baby shower for baby boy Tona. Look at that. We got a little Hawaiian shirt onesie, some tikis, palm trees. And these cookies are for a client who are having their second baby and they don't know the gender yet. So they're just having a little cookie announcement that their baby's coming in March of 2025. Now, while I was doing all of my cookie work, Tori is making all of the cake batter that he needs for this week. So I am the main cookie decorator and Tori is the head baker. So he really bakes everything and he definitely decorates all of the cakes. So he's getting all of his eggs cracked and then he's gonna mise out all his ingredients so that he can make his cake batter. We do have two separate cake recipes. We have a vanilla base and we have a chocolate base. So you might see him making two different bases here, and all of our cake bases are used for things like our cakes, our sheet cakes for our cakesicles, our mini cake donuts that are really popular for dessert tables, along with all of our cupcakes. And then after he's done making all of his cake batter, you're going to see him organize all of his cake pans for all of the cake orders that he has this week, and then he's going to brush something that we call goop onto each cake pan. So some bakers will butter and flour pans, which is something we used to do, but now that we have to bake a lot of cakes, we use something called goop, which is a flour, Crisco, and oil even blend mixture where you kind of blend that all up and you could just spread it into your cake pans, and it's an easy release for all of your cakes to come out. So he's going to lay out all his cakes that he needs, he's going to measure all his batter out, he's going to fill those cake pans, he's going to bake them, and he's also going to bake some cupcakes and some funfetti cake for some cakesicles that we need to restock. Now that Tori has finished making all of his cake batter, he's taking the goop that I mentioned before and he's putting it inside of all of his cake pans that he needs. He's just taking a little bit of a brush and he's just brushing all of the goop inside of his cake pans. And now that he's done gooping all of his pans and sheet pans and things like that, he now has a scale underneath that big mixing bowl and he's measuring out all of his batter so he can evenly distribute them into each of the cake pans. Now that Tori's all done baking his cakes and cupcakes, he's moving on to making buttercream. We do use an American buttercream here in the bakery, but don't worry, it's delicious. So he's making buttercream so that we can use it to decorate the cakes and cupcakes that we have to make. So Tori's gonna be crumb coating all of his cakes today. So crumb coat is basically like your first layer of buttercream around a cake to seal all of the crumbs in as you're decorating. So he's gonna stack and crumb coat all his cakes today, and I also need some of his buttercream to decorate the cupcakes. He's making a double batch of buttercream today, and unfortunately for him, he's probably gonna have to make more buttercream this week because we have to restock a couple other things in the bakery, and we have more cupcakes on the docket for this week as well. Isn't it crazy to think that we're gonna go through an entire container of buttercream in less than 2 days? While Tori's finishing up that buttercream, I'm moving on to cupcake toppers. So our 2 cupcake themes for today's list are a Spider-Man for a kid's birthday, and we also have that Mamma Mia bachelorette party. They wanted some cupcakes with some edible disco balls in them. So I took our edible images and I printed them onto a premium edible sugar paper, and then I cut them out with a little 2-inch circle hole cutter, and then I'm going to leave them on the side so that Tori can go ahead and apply them to some fondant so that I can decorate our cupcakes a little later that day. Look at that, later that day. So our Spider-Man order wanted just 30 cookies and cream cupcakes, and they wanted it with vanilla buttercream. And like I said, I am putting Spider-Man edible images on them. I'm putting a little red, white, and black sprinkle mix on top of them, and then I'm placing the edible images on, putting a little thank you card inside of the box, and leaving those to the side. And those are our disco ball cupcakes. I don't know why I didn't take a video of me making them. I somehow forgot to hit record, I guess, but here they are. Look at them, so cute. It's a blue and white mixture of buttercream with the edible image on top, and here are our Spider-Man cupcakes. So cute. And while I was working on those cupcakes, Tori is getting ready to crumb coat and stack his cakes. So we have our little cake cutter where he slices off the top just to make sure all our cakes are an even layer. And then he is soaking it in a simple syrup. And the simple syrup is just a layer of protection to keep our cakes nice and moist and a little bit more flavor until our clients get to enjoy them. So he's going to stack all his cakes. And like I said, he is crumb coating today. So he's going to stack all the cakes that he needs. His themes for this week are that Mickey Mouse first birthday. He has a cake for that. He also has a luau for a first birthday. That's going to be a 2-tier cake. He also has a Bluey and Bingo birthday cake for a little girl. And he also has an adult birthday cake this week. So some cakes have additional fillings, like you'll see here. The client had requested vanilla buttercream and strawberries. I know another cake on his docket this week just had vanilla pudding. Some cakes just have buttercream. Really just depends on the customer's preference. So you'll see here that while Tori is crumb coating his cakes, he really builds 2 layers at a time. So he'll put a cake layer, he'll put the requested fillings or buttercream flavors, things like that at the top layer, and he'll do a little crumb coat, and then he will put that in the fridge and let it set for a little bit, and then he'll go ahead and add the 3rd layer of cake, and then he'll add a support straw system in the center, and that's really just to ensure that all of our cakes are level, even, and straight, and then it just makes decorating the cakes even easier. And after he's done crumb coating all his cakes, we'll leave them in the fridge overnight and he can finish decorating them tomorrow. And while Tori was working on his cakes, I moved over to my dessert table items that I need for this week. So I have cakesicles I need to get done for a birthday. I also have cakesicles for the Aloha baby shower. I also have chocolate covered pretzels for the table and Rice Krispies treats. The Rice Krispies treats they wanted were half like a Hawaiian skirt style and half with edible images of tiki heads on them. And I also got to get some chocolate work done for Tori's luau cake. His 2-tier cake on the top of the cake has a floral lay on it. So you can see a little piece of paper that I have on the right that has the color scheme of all the little flowers I need to make for that lay. And I'm about to finish my Rice Krispies treats as well. I have the tiki ones left to do, so I'm going to put my edible images, put a little chocolate, seal my Rice Krispies up, and pop them in the freezer while I start to work on making all of my boxes to package all of our treats in. So I'm just packaging those up, putting a little thank you card inside of it, care card, and then labeling them so I know whose order is who when they come to pick it up. And here's a little clip of the stuff I made. This was for a cakesicle order for a birthday. The colors were white, gold, and sage green. Look at that edible glitter. This is for our tiki dessert table for the baby boy. So it has the luau skirt, Rice Krispies treats. It has a tiki Rice Krispies treats, pretzels, and cakesicles. And while I was finishing up the dessert table, Tori is making our Basque style cheesecake. So we sell a regular cheesecake in the bakery, and he is going to be demoing a new recipe today that has goat cheese in it. So you're just going to see him measing out all of his ingredients and getting it ready to bake. Like I said before, this is a crustless cheesecake, so he does need to measure out a parchment paper to put in the pan, and now he's taking all his ingredients and putting it in a food processor and blending it up so he can get it ready to go into the oven. We cook it at a really high temperature, hence why it's crustless, and here's a little clip of what it looks like when it's done. Now Tori's last project of the day is making a bunch of ganache. So we sell these ganache bites in the bakery. Most of them are gluten-free. Ganache is basically a really rich, creamy chocolate. So he's restocking our peanut butter flavor. He's also doing our dark chocolate mint, dark chocolate raspberry, and we're also doing cookies and cream. So he makes all the ganaches for me. You can see him heating up his cream. He has all of his bowls measured out so he can put each flavor in each respected bowl. So he's heating up all his cream that he needs. He's getting that into each bowl. He's melting down the chocolate evenly, and then he's going to cover those with plastic wrap, and we're going to let that set, and then I'm going to fill all the chocolate ganache bites. So now that those things have set and cooled a little bit, I am taking our silicone molds and I am going to fill them with a milk or dark chocolate shell. So I'm basically just going to scoop a little bit of chocolate inside of it. You know, people always say, oh, you can't make all that stuff. We do. It's all handmade with love. So I scoop a little bit of chocolate in there and I paint it all with a paintbrush because we don't have fancy chocolate machinery at our bakery. It's just made by hand. So I scoop it all in there and I brush it evenly, and then I pour all the chocolate ganache into a piping bag, and then I fill each each respected square in. Then I throw this in the freezer after I'm done piping all of it, and then I take another layer of chocolate and I spread it on top, and I let that get cold and hard so I can pop them out of their molds. And then I'm going to take a little bit more chocolate, and then I'm going to drizzle it on top, and then I'm going to put our decoration on top. The decoration basically just helps us separate which ganache is which. So for like our dark chocolate mint, we have green sprinkles that we put on top. Of our dark chocolate raspberry, we have freeze-dried raspberries that we put on top. For our cookies and cream, there's crumbled Oreos we put on top, things like that. And then when clients pick these up in the bakery, we do give a little card with pictures on top, so when people take them home, they also remember what they're eating. And that's it for this behind the scenes video. Thanks so much, and we'll talk real soon. Bye.